Where's the fifth wheel on this one? And Eric, where's he at? He was on this one. He's back there. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Okay, I thought he had left. So yeah, all three of us, four of us, we're the fifth wheel here. So anyways, happy Mother's Day to all you ladies. And y'all had to deal with a whole bunch of stuff because you had kids growing up, and of course, Dad might not have been there all the time, so y'all had to really deal with them. And I found these words that people look up and people used to use older day, time gone by. But they had different meanings, of course, especially nowadays than they did back then. But for a mother, they definitely had some different meanings. So one of the words was a dumb waiter. Y'all, that's one of those things that's usually in the wall that you can put the food or drink or whatever in, and it slides up like a food elevator, right? But no, for a mother's dictionary, the dumb-waiter would be one who asked if the kids would care to order dessert. Of course your kids want dessert. What a dumb... If y'all have noticed that, you're sitting there at the restaurant and you finally got everything set up and the waiter comes up and don't look at mom or dad. He goes straight to the kids. Now, do y'all want dessert? Of course. He says, okay, my tips won't get bigger. That's a pretty dumb waiter. Feedback is the inevitable result when the baby doesn't appreciate the strained carrots. Y'all know what that is. Boy, y'all ever had that baby in your arms? Me sitting there, its belly will be full, and all of a sudden you think a burp is coming, but it's a lot more than a burp. But as a mother, what do? You clean it off and smile and you just keep rolling with it. Full name. Y'all know when you're born, everybody gets all these long names put to them. But the full name is only used by the mom when what? When the kid is in trouble. When that kid hears his full name, he wants to run and hide because mom's using it, not to hear what she named him, but to make sure he knows who she's talking about. I think some of this might be for you guys. Grandparents. The people who think your children are wonderful, even though they're sure you're not raising them right. Isn't that the way it was? Y'all got grandkids? You love your... Everybody says, I read the little sign that says, oh, I love my kids and I love my grandkids. And if they knew how much the grandkids, how much better they was going to be, they would have skipped the kids and went straight to the grandkids. You see that all the time. Ain't that funny? Ain't it funny how, as a mom, you might not have allowed your children to do certain things. But boy, as a grandmom, oh, that kid could get away with anything it wanted because it had those heartstrings. Hearsay. That's what toddlers do when anyone mutters a dirty word. You ever notice that? Some little baby moms try to teach it to talk and they won't say nothing. Well, let somebody slip up and say something bad, and boy, that baby's like a parrot. Boy, it just starts right on with those bad words. Independent. How we want our children to be, as long as they still do everything we say. Isn't that what's supposed to be? Now, I want you to grow up and be strong and live on your own, but you still got to mind me. That's mother's words to them, their wisdom. And then finally, this last one, it says to sterilize. Isn't that funny how when you have these children or a mom can there's something special about the power of this mom, right? You guys ever had a hair that sticks up, And what does mom do? She comes by, licks her hand, puts that hair right down. You get something on your face. Something on your face, mom can lick it and wipe it right off. It doesn't matter what it was. There's something about a mother's saliva that can just take anything away. Just like that pacifier. That baby dropped that pacifier out in the yard or wherever. That mama picks it up and looks at it, puts it in her mouth, wipes it off, puts it right back in the bag. There is something about the mom that can just sterilize and clean off anything. That mom sitting there later on, Daddy looks at her, I ain't kissing you. I saw where that landed, I saw where that was. That's right where the dogs are, But anyway, so mom's got this special thing for the kids. And I know you ladies probably deeply enjoyed raising your children and possibly your grandchildren. And we love to come by and visit with you. We love to because we draw strength and we can feel, the presence of God within y'all because y'all's faith. You have seen so much faith. A mother has to have a whole lot of faith. And that's, you can look all the way back to Genesis when what happened with Sarah. Sarah was told, oh, you're going to be the mother of a whole new people. And Sarah was like, are you crazy? I'm 90 years old. What do you mean? Who here is 90 or above? Wouldn't you hate it if right now, at your current age, God come down and say, hey, by the way, you're fixing to start being a baby machine. You're fixing to start having babies. Y'all be like, no, I'm sticking to my Chex Mix here and my lemonade, right? But Sarah had faith. She had that faith that stood strong and was able to build God's nation upon it. It says, is there anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Sarah had that faith. She held on to that faith. And that's one of the things that, like I say, that mothers seem to always say, the kids, man, their kids can be out there ranting and raving, looting every story you see. Y'all, I know you watch the news. Y'all see the news. And you'll see where this person was caught robbing a store. Or they was caught over here. Unfortunately nowadays it's robbing a store, they've got a gun, they've carjacked somebody or whatever. And the news, of course the news is all over it. They're right there. And they go up to the mom. And can we believe, your son was just, I just don't believe it. Don't just think bad about him. They're such a great person. Oh, they're so good. And they're like, well, he just shot and killed 4 people. He just robbed the store. He's on his way up. But you know what that mom does? That mom looks beyond what had just happened. That mom's love for that child. That mom's faith that not just what the child just did, but what the child is capable of. It's that faith that that mom has in that children. That's what the faith that the mom has. Let's see here. I wrote this down. What did the mommy spider say to the baby spider? Do you guys know what that will be? What did the mommy spider say to the baby spider? Let me give you a hint. You know how come moms can overlook some of the things that their children do because they have a good relationship with them, right? They talk to them. They spend time with them. Kids love it when their parents spend time with them. So the baby spider, what did the mommy spider say to the baby spider? It says, you've got to come back and have some time with me and quit spending all of your time on the web. And y'all get the internet, all the kids nowadays got one of these in their hands, they're all the time on the internet. You have got to spend time with your children. If you don't, it's going to all be gone. You guys look back now and think about when you was growing up. Think about when you first had your children or you had your grandchildren. They was staying at your house. Doesn't it seem like sometimes when they were there, you couldn't wait for them to either get to sleep or get home? Y'all remember those days? But man, there were other days you just couldn't wait for them to get there. You just couldn't wait to hold them. You couldn't wait to wake them up so you could just spend time with them. It's that time. God's the same way with us. He wants to spend time with us, but too many times we're too busy doing something else. We're too busy with our friends, or we're too busy reading the magazine, or we're too busy watching the TV, and all God wants is for us to come back and to spend some time with Him. In Ruth, we all know the story of Ruth in the Bible. It's one of the great love stories. Naomi, of course you had Ruth, you had Naomi. By faith, she kept her faith strong, and her belief as she held on. It says, and when they lifted up their voice and wept again, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave to her. Y'all remember Ruth had her 2 daughters-in-laws, Orpah and Naomi, and Ruth was going to go back. She was going to go back to her homeland because she had heard things were getting better And so Orpah said, no, their husbands, her sons had now been killed. So they were going to go back. And she was going to go back and say, y'all just stay here because I can't take care of you. Maybe somebody else will. But it says that Ruth clave unto her. And she said, behold, thy sister-in-law is gone. Go back into her people and after her gods, and return after thy sister-in-law. And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and whither thou lodgest, I will lodge. And thy people shall be my people, and thy God shall be my God. Men, weren't those some powerful, powerful words? She was going to hang on, no matter what situation, hang on, because she had found God through her mother-in-law. She had found what the true meaning of life was. You mothers probably don't even realize how much of a witness, how much of a God-sharing vessel that you have been, ladies. Touched lives all around you, your children, your extended family, have touched them so much that they can look at you and just realize what they've got is what I want. That God that you guys share is what they are so wanting. Teaching your children to pray. Anybody ever spend time teaching their children to pray? Usually that mom does. You know, that's one of the first things that mom does is teaches them how. It's so funny. One time the Sunday school teacher comes over and he's going to see the family, and he's visiting with them. And they all get ready to sit down to eat. And Johnny says, I'll say the blessing. So Johnny, he says this nice, beautiful long blessing. The Sunday school teacher says, wow, Johnny. Says, you really know how to pray, don't you? And then he says, well, you'll learn around here that you have to, because Mom is a terrible cook. You know. I don't think we have to worry about terrible cooks probably in this room. But we do have to still think on our prayer time. How much time we spend. How many mothers have spent lonely nights, praying, God help my child. They've gone the wrong way. Or you can just turn them around. How many other nights has it been, God, thank you for touching my children. Thank you for helping my children. We set the examples. And you ladies, I'm sure, have been much better examples
Good morning,
than lots of people have.
Just wanted to let everyone know, Omega Sci-Fi will not be coming for bingo today. Sorry for the inconvenience, but there will be no bingo today.
Anybody got D44? It always wins the game, I can tell y'all. For some reason, that's the one that wins. Hold on to it till next week, because you'll be able to get it then, all right? Proverbs says to train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he gets old, he will not depart from it. I can look around, I can see that your mothers, your fathers, definitely spent time training up you guys. Because every service that we have here, man, y'all are here worshiping, singing, clapping, having a good time, praising the Lord. That's what a good mother, a good Christian should be all about. And finally, we show faith. We show our love through obedience. In John, it says Mary here. It says when they wanted wine, this was actually going to be part of my service, part of my sermon tomorrow. It says when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus said unto him, they have no wine. And his mother said unto the servants, whatsoever he saith unto you, do. Whatsoever he says unto you, make sure you do. How many times as a parent, as a mother, have you told them children of yours, just trust me and do what I'm telling you. If you'll just trust me, it won't be so bad. But what happens? Kids, they got to make it on their own. They got to go out and spread their own wings. And they don't. And they spread the wings and fly. And they hit the bottom. Now, sometimes they seem to fly on up. But but sometimes they just crash and burn. What's the mom there do? Pick them back up. Scrape them off. You know, clean them back up. It goes back to that magic saliva. Kiss the boo-boo and send them on their way. Boy, they seem to be all good again. But Mary's words to the people there ought to ring true in our ears. And that is, to whatever he says to do it. Man, if Jesus tells you to do something, don't let anybody else tell you that you shouldn't. Don't let anybody else belittle it. Make sure you are obedient to him. Just like how you wanted your child and your grandchildren to obey what you said because you knew what was best for them, God knows what's best for us. Whatever he says, do it. As a mother, man, what better way could you be to set that example than to be obedient to Christ, to have that faith to make it through and to believe. That's what God wants from his children. Thank y'all so much for coming out this morning. We're going to say a word of prayer. And I tell you what, let's say a word of prayer, and then why don't you go back over and let's play Amazing Grace. Let's sing like Amazing Grace. Don't everybody loves that song? Wasn't it his amazing grace that saved us, it cleansed us, it purifies, it keeps us, it holds us? That amazing, amazing grace. Let's pray. Father, Lord, I thank you for your goodness, for your grace, for your mercy. God, I thank you for each and every one that's in this room. God, as tomorrow they celebrate Mother's Day. Father, raise up your strength within each of these mothers. God, Lord, their faith, encourage their faith. Lord, encourage their obedience, Father, and let them realize, God, Lord, until they come to be home with you, God, Lord, that they are loved, that God, that they are cherished. God, Lord, they are the mothers. And Lord, we thank you and praise you for every mother that's in this house this morning. Now, God, touch us. If there's one here that's sick, heal them. If there's one that's depressed, Father, Lord, reach down to their souls, their very hearts, Lord, and just cheer them up. I let them know that you're with them. And God, Lord, why be sad when they've got you? Heal, minister, touch, and be with us, strength. In Jesus'